Hello and welcome to FDTV. We are back again with another episode of our daily football show. I'm your host Ali, joined with my fellow co-host Jawad. Jawad, what's happening, man?
It's going good. A lot of exciting things happening in the world of football. Milan lost, which was sad, but it is what it is. Let's get into this.
So the biggest topic in the world of football, specifically from England, is that Manchester United have now got Ralf Rangnick as the interim boss for the next 6 months, which will be preceded by 2 years of an advisory role in the hierarchy of the club. So what was the initial reaction of this situation? Is it the right move considering he's only going to get 6 months as a boss?
Right, so here's the thing with this. I've done a lot of research into Rangnick taking over at any football club. The reason for that is there were rumors about a couple of years ago that, not a couple of years, actually a year ago, that he was going to be taking over as the new boss at AC Milan, right? We ended up thankfully renewing Stefano Pioli, who's been doing a tremendous job for us. But that's not to discount the amount of influence that Rangnick would have at any club that he comes into. The only negative that you can think of is that he hasn't taken care of a club at the stature of Manchester United. He is not experienced at that big of a club, although the guy is a true mastermind when it comes to all things football. Right, so the only hesitation, apart from not being managed in a big club, is that 6 months is kind of a short period. Right, he wouldn't have the chance to really implement what he wants out of the players, and even if he does, he's going to be taken away from it. Right, so as long as even after he goes away for the 6 months, if he is given the reins to run everything relating to football, whether that's the coaching staff coming in, whether that's the transfer policy that's being implemented by them, that needs to be in the hands of Rangnick. If he's able to do that, I see success for them. I see success for United because I really rate Rangnick as a football great in terms of the way he possesses his mind, the way he is able to manage other clubs and really get the best out of young players. What do you make out of this?
Well, first of all, we are a generation of short attention span, but his 30-minute press conference, which I watched the other day, I could not miss a single minute or a second of it. It was so precise and calculated. The man does know what he's talking about, and he has a clear plan, even though he's going to be in charge of Manchester United for the next 6 months. And he was open to working as a manager in the long term as well, if all things go according to plan. So if I look at the history of the manager, he's a German boss, influenced major people like Thomas Tuchel, and most importantly Jurgen Klopp is the kind of manager who likes to play a high intensity of football, usually in the opposition's half. I think that suits United's philosophy perfectly right now, and also fits the squad, the way the kind of players that United possess currently. So Rangnick coming to United is actually one of the few good moments in the history, in the last 5-6 years history of Manchester United. Now the only downside is that I wish that in the beginning they gave him at least 1.5 years to work, because 6 months you cannot implement a lot of things, and that is a worrying factor for me, because when you look at the United squad, you got midfielders like Fred, Lingard, who can fit into the Rangnick system, but you also got players who are completely opposite of what a manager like Rangnick would want. Scott McTominay, Anthony Martial, they would likely become fringe players. So a lot of things need to be changed. Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I don't see them fitting into the philosophy of Ralf Rangnick, and 6 months is too less of a time to have an impact on the way that your current player is playing and converting him into something that you would like into your system. So that is a downside for me. And what do you think about the expectations from Manchester United? They are currently 11 points off the pace from the top 3 of the Premier League. Do you see them making any sort of impact in the next 6 months, or it is going to be a top 6 season with a semi-final in the Champions League?
So I really hope that it's a top 4 season for United. The reason for that is the squad that they possess is leaps and bounds ahead of your Tottenhams and your Arsenals. Now Arsenal has been having an upsprint as of late. They ended up losing to United recently, but that being said, the form is really good, right? They're picking back up, and they could be a very good shout for the top 4 as well. But if under Rangnick, United is not able to finish top 4, I think that should be, not that this would, but it should be considered a failure. Now, it's obvious none of the players that United possess are world class altogether. They have a few game changers in their ranks, that being Cristiano Ronaldo, that being Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, Rafael Varane, and David De Gea, to be honest, who I think, to be honest, right now this season has been probably their best player.